Sup you beautiful people. Hope you've had a fantastic day. Welcome back to another new episode of What If Naruto Had the Omnitrix. If you guys enjoy this what if, comment down below and let me know. And go ahead and check out other what ifs in the channel after watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like, and also share this video with your friends. So now let's start this video. Last time, as the finals for the Chunin exam had begun, everyone was pumped and ready, only for the match between Gaara and Sasuke to get interrupted by the invasion force of Valmark, great-grandson of Vilgax the Conqueror. With an invasion of Valmark, and Orochimaru and his ninja ready to fight, will the shinobi of Konoha be prepared? Find out. In the stadium stands, all the civilians were in a panic, until Kabuto activated a jutsu sending feathers around which started putting people to sleep. Most of the shinobi in the crowds were able to dispel the genjutsu casted on everyone, and prepared themselves for battle. From Valmark's ship dropping down were several robotic drones Vilgax once commanded. Following them was Ninin ready to help lead the drones into battle, show no mercy. The hunter commanded the drones. The Kage stood up, as the Kazekage spoke, "We best help our shinobi, it's the only chance we have in stopping this madness." "I couldn't agree with you more, Kazekage. No. Hiruzen answered, as he whipped off his robes revealing he was wearing his own battle armor. Orochimaru thought, "Excellent. As we fight off these intruders, I can regroup with my shinobi and plan for another strike." Suddenly he was cut off, as the other Kage attacked him, causing him to jump away to avoid the impact of their combined strengths. "What are you four doing?" Azmuth hovered over on his hover pad, and answered, "Save your words, Orochimaru." He pressed a button on his pad, that fired a green beam on the disguised shinobi, as it peeled away his disguise and revealed himself to the others. Orochimaru groaned from the effects of having his disguise peel from him. He frowned at the Galvan. "How did you know?" "The three shinobi you left in the Forest of Death were willing to squawk with the right persuasion." Azmuth smirked. Orochimaru growled, and was ready to fight, only for Mei to speak up. "Even you're smart enough to know taking on the four of us would be suicide, even for a former member of the legendary Sannin." Orochimaru looked at each of the Kage on edge, knowing full well he stood no chance against them, until the Sannin vanished, much to their surprise. "Where'd he go?" I was shocked. Orochimaru suddenly found himself on board Valmark's ship. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded, as Valmark approached. "Relax, Orochimaru. I am an ally." "An ally?" Orochimaru squinted his eyes suspiciously. "Yes. Our sides combined is more than enough to crush Konoha," the young alien warlord explained. "I'll believe it when I see it. Then watch with me." Valmark showed Orochimaru to a viewing window to watch the fighting going on down below. On the ground, Sound Shinobi and Suna Shinobi joined alongside Valmark's drones in attacking the Konoha Shinobi. Naruto was in shock, but knew something had to be done. "We gotta do something about this mess. But I can't do it alone." He then turned to the other finalists. "Listen up, we have to help protect the village." "What?" Chijiro asked. "Against those things." "Pal, this is your village. Why should we get involved?" Kurisuchi asked on behalf of herself, Chijiro, and Watashi. "Because like it or not, this isn't just about our individual nations." Naruto snapped, taking them by surprise. "This Valmark won't stop in invading Konoha. He'll eventually go for the other nations as well, until this whole planet is under his control." Shikamaru sighed. "I agree with Naruto." "Shikamaru?" Naruto gasped. "This situation is bigger than any of us. If we don't do anything, we nor anyone else will live to see it tomorrow. As troublesome as it sounds, I'd rather live on a troublesome planet than nothing at all." The lazy boy explained. Naruto smiled at his answer, before Shino spoke up. "Count me in too." "And me too," Lee added, with a thumbs up. Chijiro approached. "I'll help too." "And so will I." Watashi offered his service. Kurisuchi looked around feeling like the smallest there until answering, "You Konoha shinobi have a way with words." "Alright, I'm game." Naruto smirked before realizing something. "Hey, where's Temari and Kankuro?" Lee looked down at the arena seeing two more missing. "Sasuke and Gaara are gone too." "What?" Naruto gasped, as he saw Lee was right. "Where could they have gone?" Chijiro asked. "Maybe I can help." A voice spoke up, as they saw Neji approach. "Neji?" Naruto gasped. "I'll find them." Neji activated his Byakugan and looked out into the distance of the village, seeing the presence of four figures through the forest. "I found them. They're heading for the forest." Naruto spoke. "I'll go after them. The rest of you help the other shinobi." He was about to activate the Omnitrix, only to nearly get blasted. They looked and saw flying over was Ninin. "No one is going anywhere." "Ninin?" Naruto frowned. "Ninin?" Neji and Lee asked him, seeing it was almost sound like their female teammate's name. Naruto could only shrug. "My master cannot allow you to interfere in his plans, boy." Ninin warned Naruto, before aiming his blaster at him, only to get blasted from behind. They looked and saw Hinata with mana surrounding her, enabling her to hover in the air. "Leave my friends alone," Hinata warned him. Ninin spoke. "An Anodite, a perfect trophy." "Hinata." Naruto and Neji called. "I'll deal with him, the rest of you hurry." Hinata called, as Ninin fought Hinata in the air. The Genin shinobi took off, as Naruto activated the Omnitrix and became Stinkfly. He quickly flew off to try and catch his teammate and the Suna shinobi. Meanwhile, the Kage and the rest of the shinobi were busy in fending off against Orochimaru's forces. Hiruzen had kicked a sound shinobi and spoke to the other Kage. Try not to hurt any shinobi from Suna. They don't know they were set up. That's going to be difficult, seeing as how they're not holding back. Inoki reminded him. And those things Valmark dropped on us are persistent. Mei added, as they saw their shinobi struggling to combat them, even with ninjutsu. Azmuth spoke up, then perhaps it's time I bring in reinforcements. He slit a button on a control pad on his hover pad. Suddenly materializing out of thin air were multiple Galvans wearing Mechamurph's armor. They came down and started taking the fight to Valmark's drones. I spoke to the Galvan leader, Azmuth. You always come prepared, don't you? I used to feel there was no need for contingency plans, but I've learned better safe than sorry. He answered. Hinata and Ninanin were busy engaging each other while airborne. Ninanin was launching missiles and firing laser blasts at Hinata, who was countering them by flying away or blasting them with mana. The hunter spoke, for an amateur Anodite you fight well. Don't sell me short because I'm new to this. Hinata scowled, and continued to blast away at Ninanin. Out in the forest, Stinkfly was flying through the trees, until he saw Sasuke up ahead facing down Gar, who looked like he had transformed into some half-human half-raccoon dog hybrid. Sasuke. Stinkfly called, as he deactivated the Omnitrix and became Naruto. He landed at Sasuke's side seeing he was roughed up. What happened? Sasuke groaned, this guy's no joke, Naruto. I don't think I can take him alone. Don't worry, Sasuke, you're not alone. Naruto took a stand next to his partner who got back on his feet. Gar spoke, so you both wish to die at my hands. He laughed amusingly. Kankuro and Tamari, who were right behind their brother, were getting scared and were about to turn tail and run, only to be confronted by B and Yujito. Going somewhere? Yujito asked rhetorically, as the two Suna shinobi knew they were automatically out of their league against the two older Kumo shinobi. Gar started firing shuriken made from the sand surrounding him at the two partners, who jumped back onto another tree branch. Sasuke looked to Naruto. Got anything in that watch of yours to help us? I always do. Naruto answered, as he activated the Omnitrix and became Big Chill. Gar launched some more sand shuriken at them, only for Sasuke to once again dodge, and Big Chill went intangible making them pass through him. Sasuke started performing a jutsu that looked like lightning forming in his hand. Sasuke, what jutsu is that? Big Chill asked. Sasuke answered, this is called the Chidori, Naruto. Big Chill pondered, I can see why it's called that. He admitted, upon hearing the crackling sound the jutsu was producing. Give me some cover. Sasuke called, as Big Chill flew had blowing ice around Gar, freezing his giant sand claw, until Sasuke was on top of him, and used his jutsu to sever the frozen claw from Gar. Way to go, Sasuke. Big Chill called, only to see more sand surrounding Gar. Scratch that victory cheer. Suddenly all the sand surrounding Gar took the form of a giant raccoon dog. Oh no. Kankuro gasped. This is bad, we need to get out of here. Tamari panicked. Yujito spoke, we'll handle this. You ready, B? I was born ready, Yujito. Let's put on a show. B rapped. Yujito rolled her eyes, and chakras similar to Naruto's surrounded the two, and they started taking on giant forms. Yujito had taken the form of a blue fiery cat with two tails, and B had taken on the form of a cross between an ox and an octopus. The ox-octopus spoke to the cat, are you ready, Matatabi? The cat, Matatabi answered, always, Jayuki. Good. Remember who we're up against. Jayuki reminded her. I have not forgotten in the slightest. She replied. They saw from the sand creature's forehead appear Gar, who formed a hand sign and fell limp. The creature suddenly called out, yeah. About time I got a chance to come out. Shikaku. Matatabi called. The being Shikaku looked at the other two. Hey, Matatabi, Jayuki. I wasn't expecting to see you two here. Shikaku, whatever you're planning on doing here is madness. Matatabi warned him. It's pointless to reason with him out of all of us, Matatabi. Jayuki answered. Shikaku laughed. He's right. I'm not so reasonable. Then we have no choice. Matatabi said, as she and Jayuki prepared themselves. Bring it. Shikaku called. The three demons went at it in an all-out fight. Back down below, Big Chill, who became Naruto again, stood with Sasuke looking shocked. What kind of battle is this turning into? Sasuke asked Naruto. One that has to be stopped. Naruto answered, as he activated the Omnitrix again. Naruto, what are you gonna do? Sasuke asked in confusion. I'm going big. Naruto answered, as he jumped off the branch and activated the Omnitrix. Suddenly emerging from the trees, and taking the three demons by surprise was the Takustar alien Way Big. Shikaku looked amused. Well, what are we here? Another opponent to kill. Way Big looked at the other two demons, figured you two could use some help. Against Shikaku, I won't deny it. Jayuki answered. I'm Way Big, and you all are. I'm Matatabi, the Nibi. And I'm Jayuki the head chibi. And that guy there's Shikaku the chibi, correct? Way Big asked, looking at Shikaku. Yes, Jayuki answered, Naruto Uzumaki, B, and I have learned a great deal about you, since we first encountered you at the preliminaries. Have you now? Yes, Matatabi answered. B told Yujido and you are also a jinchuriki like Gari is to Shikaku. Inside you lies Kurama the Kyuubi. Guilty. Way Big admitted. Shikaku growled, enough of this sentimentality, just die. He started blasting huge gusts of wind around to try and knock them off their feet. They stood their ground, as Matatabi launched a fireball from her mouth at Shikaku, distorting him. Way Big spoke to her, good shot. My turn. Jayuki fired a small blast of chakra from his mouth at Shikaku, causing some sand to crumble off him, but he shook it off. Shikaku shouted, now you made me angry. He started unleashing another blast of wind mixed with sand particles. Hard to see. Jayuki groaned. I'll stop him. Way Big crossed his wrists and fired a cosmic ray which hit Shikaku, causing him to cease his attack. Way Big charged at the sand demon and started throwing punches and kicks at the Chippy, without holding back. Shikaku started using his sand to wrap around Way Big's legs to hold him still, only for the giant alien to slam both his fists into Shikaku's round belly, causing him to lose hold of his captive. In Naruto's mindscape, he spoke to Kurama. Kurama, is there any way to stop Shikaku before he causes more damage? Aside from the damage you're already causing. Kurama quipped. No time for smart remarks. Does he have a weak point or not? Naruto asked in irritation. Kurama answered, it's Gar. As long as he remains asleep, Shikaku is at his full strength. By waking his jinchuriki up, Shikaku will become dormant again. Thanks. Naruto answered, as he focused on the fight again as Way Big. The giant alien spotted Gar sticking out of the forehead, and using only a finger, was able to tap Gar hard enough to wake him up. Upon awakening, Shikaku went dormant again. Gar looked up at the giant alien angrily. You woke me up. You're welcome. Way Big called, as he heard the Omnitrix ready to time out, and now to finish this. In a flash he became Naruto again and was falling down towards Gar to deliver a pounding blow to his head. This caused Shikaku to crumble into sand, and the two boys were falling to the earth. Jayuki quickly used two of his tentacle tails to catch them and bring them down safely. Naruto groaned as he got up, and saw the two demons transform back into Killer Bee and Yujido. Are you okay? Yujido asked. Yeah, I'm fine. Naruto admitted, while rubbing his head for any sores. That was some good work there. Bee admitted. Thanks. Naruto smiled, until the three heard groaning. They looked and saw Gar regaining consciousness. The boy looked over and saw the three approaching him. Suddenly a look of fright came upon his face. No. Stay away from me. Naruto scowled with Yujido and Bee, and spoke, we can tell what you've been through. Ha. Gar was confused. You're jinchuriki just like the three of us. Naruto continued. Yujido spoke, it had to be painful growing up with everyone hating you for what you carry inside of you. Believe me kid, we've been there. She said on behalf of herself and Bee. If you're treated so badly, then why didn't you do anything about it? Gar asked in confusion. Because that's what they'd expect. Bee answered all cool-like. Naruto added, just because people treat you like a monster, say you are one, or because you have one inside you doesn't mean you are one. I had friends who helped me see that I'm not just some demon vessel. I am who I am. And I'm Naruto. We also had friends who helped us through any tough times, no matter how much we brushed it off. Yujido added. Gar sat up a bit and spoke looking sad, but all I've ever known is to kill and to only care about myself. I don't know anything about being friends. Naruto stood before him and offered him a hand. Before pulling the Tsunade jinchuriki to his feet, I'd be willing to teach you, if you'd give me the chance. Gar looked at Naruto as if seeing a new light in the world itself. He smiled and wiped a tear away from his eyes, as Yujido and Bee smiled. Suddenly dropping in was Sasuke, Temari, and Kankuro. What just happened? Kankuro asked Temari. I don't know. She answered. Gar looked back at his siblings. I've just made a friend. A friend? The Toe gasped in surprise at seeing their younger brother no longer hostile. Gar nodded, and looked back at Naruto. Naruto, thank you. The two shook on it. Back in the village stadium, the drones and sound shinobi were dropping, and some of the sound shinobi fled. Kabuto was looking for his master, Lord Orochimaru. Where are you? Ninin dropped in with his armor looking dented and scrapped. Your master is fine. I'll take you to him. Why should I trust you? Kabuto asked suspiciously, as he was prepared to attack. Take a look for yourself. Ninin held up his arm as he was still able to use his communicator to show Orochimaru with Valmark. Lord Orochimaru. Kabuto gasped. Kabuto, take Ninin back to the lair. I'll rendezvous with you and the others soon enough. Orochimaru ordered. Kabuto, seeing this was a direct order, answered, yes, my lord. Ninin ended the transmission, and Kabuto let him off before anyone could find them. All around the stadium lay destroyed drone parts and unconscious shinobi. Hinata, Neji, Chijuro, Kurisuchi, Tenten, Shino, and all the other shinobi were getting themselves healed by any available medical shinobi. Standing on top of the stands were the four Kage. Hiruzen thought to himself, I know this is only the beginning. A day later, after the brief ceremonial goodbye to the fallen shinobi, inside the administration building, Hiruzen, Mei, and Inoki sat at a circular table, while Azmuth stood in the center. Hiruzen started, so it's come to this. Without a Kazukage, Suna is letterless. As stated. Azmuth spoke. I talked to Baki, and he told me the council should more than be able to handle political affairs until they are able to find someone suitable enough to become their new leader. That's a relief, Mei admitted. And more so, with Tsunade back on our side, we wouldn't be worrying about any more traitorous acts from them, Hiruzen added. But there's still the matter of Valmark and Orochimaru. If those two combine their forces like they unknowingly did yesterday, it will prove to be catastrophic to all of the ninja lands. Azmuth feared. What does anyone suggest we do about it? Inoki inquired. Hiruzen answered, the only thing we can do. We have to re-establish the United Plumbers Alliance from the 5 great nations, and look into getting the lower nations to restart their own plumber bases. A voice his opinion. That's a lot easier said than done, you know. I'm aware of that, Hiruzen nodded, but we have to try. If not, then our entire planet is doomed. The other cages nodded in agreement, as the tallest old man continued. With that being said, I also plan on stepping down from my position as Hokage. What? The Kage asked. Azmuth spoke. Somehow that doesn't surprise me. But if you retire now, Hiruzen, who will be the next successor to the mantle? Inquired. He smiled. I have a good idea. Azmuth looked curious. Hiruzen, are you thinking of her? Yes, Azmuth, I am. The very next day after the discussion between the 4 Kage and Azmuth, Naruto was walking around the village, seeing many villagers and shinobi alike making repairs due to the destruction caused by Valmark's drones and Orochimaru's forces. Next time I see Valmark or Orochimaru, I'll give them one upside the ass. He thought to himself. Naruto. A voice spoke up. Naruto stopped and turned around to see Hinata and Tenten. Hey Hinata. Oh, Tenten, good morning. He greeted them. Good morning. Tenten greeted him back. Where were you off to today? Hinata inquired. I was just going someplace to practice with my aliens. Naruto answered. Can I come? I need to test my anodite powers some more. Hinata asked. Sure. Tenten spoke. Can I come too? I'd like to see more of those aliens you have in that Omnitrix wizard. Okay. Come on. He walked with the 2 girls. Soon enough at one of the training fields, Hinata was practicing with her anodite powers, while Naruto had transformed into 4 arms, and was bench pressing a tree he ripped out of the ground, and Tenten was practicing with a sword from her weapons collection. As Tenten did some cuts, she spoke to 4 arms. I have to say that watch of yours is full of surprises both at the preliminaries and during the finals. 4 arms answered, I know. Going into each of these aliens for the first time felt weird, but now it's not so bad once you get used to it. Tenten looked over at Hinata who was firing mana shots at some targets, and you're just amazing Hinata. Being part alien. I mean what were the odds? I honestly didn't expect it myself. Hinata admitted sheepishly. Hey, there. A voice called out, as the 3 saw Azmuth on Jiraiya's shoulder, as the old man approached. Aosanin, what's up? 4 arms called, as Jiraiya cringed at the nickname. Jiraiya-sama. Tenten gasped, as she bowed her head. It's an honor to stand before one of the greatest shinobi in our village. Jiraiya smiled. Now this girl knows how to respect someone, and is a cutie to boot. Azmuth face palmed. 4 arms transformed back into Naruto, and spoke, so what are you 2 doing here? Azmuth answered, Hiruzen has decided to step down from his position as Hokage. The 3 shinobi looked shocked. What? Why? Sensei just couldn't take it anymore, especially after the events of the invasion. And he's tasked me to find his replacement. Jiraiya explained. Who's that? Hinata inquired. Jiraiya smirked, my old teammate Tsunade. Tenten's eyes lit up. Tsunade. The only woman of the legendary Sannin. Jiraiya nodded, the one and the same. So why tell me this? Naruto asked, not seeing the point. Jiraiya answered, I requested Sensei to let me take you with on this search. And I shall also accompany you. Azmuth added. Really, you? Naruto asked in surprise. I have been wanting to see more of the land as of late. Azmuth admitted. So, Naruto, will you join us? Jiraiya asked. Naruto pondered, what's in it for me if I decide to come? I do have a new jutsu for you to learn that can be very useful to you aside from the Omnitrix. The old man answered. Naruto pondered some more. Well, I can't pass up the opportunity to learn a new jutsu. After all, now that Sasuke's got the Chidori, I can't let him one-up me in the field of jutsu. So count me in. Great. I'll go run it by Sensei. Jiraiya said, as he was preparing to leave, only to be stopped by his pupil. Wait. I would also like to make a request of my own. Oh, what did you have in mind? Jiraiya asked in interest. Naruto looked over at Hinata. I want Hinata to join us. What? Hinata gasped, while a blush spread across her face. Jiraiya gave a faint smirk to himself. Someone I saw that coming. Naruto, why ask me to join you? Hinata asked, but felt it came out wrong. Not that I have a problem or anything. Naruto shushed her so he could explain. We could both use a change of scenery to help us with practicing with our alien powers and abilities. Hinata nodded. Good point. But if you'd want me to come, we'll have to talk this over to Kurenai-sensei and my parents. Then let's do that. Iro-sanin, think you can pull some strings with Jiji to also have him allowed? For such a young lady, sure, he grinned. Meet me at the administration building if you get the okay. He left with Azmuth. Naruto looked to Hinata. Come on, let's go. Tenten, we'll see you when we get back from Mount Mission. Take care, she said, as the two left. Later on, Naruto and Hinata approached the administration building, seeing Jiraiya and Azmuth waiting for them. Jiraiya, seeing both of them had smiles plastered on their faces, knew there was good news. So your father and Kurenai approved? Jiraiya asked Hinata. Hinata nodded, yes. They agreed it would be good for me to get out of the village and practice more with my power. And we got the okay from Hiruzen as well. Azmuth added. Well, we're all set to go, Naruto said, motioning to his sack. Then let's get moving. I have some ideas of where Tsunade is, but she does tend to not stay in one place for a long time. Azmuth, can't you use your alien technology to track her location? Naruto inquired. I could, but then where would the fun be in that? Azmuth asked. Jiraiya continued, besides, I want you to learn the jutsu as we go along. Naruto thought about it. I get your point. Well, let's head out, Jiraiya said, as the group started off. As they walked, everything was peaceful and quiet, until Naruto stopped. Hold on you guys, call of nature. He ran up ahead to someplace secure so they would hear or see him take care of business. After finally doing his business by a tree, he zipped up and was about to go back to the others, until he felt like he was being watched. Suddenly he was almost blasted by shark-shaped missiles made from water. He jumped out of the way before they could nail him. What the hell was that? Naruto shouted, until he saw two figures standing on the tree's branches. One was tall and had blue hair and a face that looked like a shark's. Around his forehead was a Kiri headband with a gash in it, and on his back looked like a sword wrapped in bandages. The second was shorter and wore a Konoha headband that also had a gash in it, but was most noticeable about him was he looked like an older Sasuke. He also noticed both shinobi were wearing black cloaks with red cloud designs. The tall one grumbled, damn it, and I thought I had him. The short one remarked, you clearly weren't focused enough. Though, Itachi, you can say some mean things sometimes. The two jumped down to the ground. Naruto frowned at them and spoke, who the hell are you two? The short one, identified as Itachi, answered, my name is Itachi, and this is Kasame. Naruto Uzumaki, we're here to collect you. Collect me? Naruto asked. Kasame spoke, that's right. So you'd be wise to just give yourself up to us, or you might end up losing your legs. He reached for his sword. Naruto had to act fast, so he activated the Omnitrix. How about you lose your legs? He transformed and turned Diamond Head. The two shinobi were taken aback, as Kasame spoke, what the hell just happened? Itachi pondered, a Petrosapien. Diamond Head armed himself with his arms turning into spears. Want me? Come and get me. With pleasure. Kasame whipped out his sword, causing some bandages to tear, revealing dark purple-blue scales making up the sword. When the sword clashed against Diamond Head's arms, the scales tried piercing through, but weren't able to make a dent in him. The two grappled. Kasame was confused. You must be incredibly strong to be able to survive cuts from Samehada. You clearly don't know the anatomy of a Petrosapien, do you? Diamond Head asked. Petrosapien? The Kiri shinobi asked in confusion, before they broke their grapple. Itachi stood by calmly watching his partner and Diamond Head engage, while thinking to himself, so Naruto has Azmuth's creation. I'm finally getting to see the famed Omnitrix in action. He was brought out of thought when he felt another presence close to him. He jumped away, before almost getting blasted by Mana's shots. Itachi looked up, along with Kasame and Diamond Head, and saw Hinata flying around while powering up her mana. Kasame noticed the girl and saw her eyes. Itachi, it's a Hyuga. But she can fly. That's no ordinary Hyuga, Kasame, Itachi began, it's an Anodite. Anodite? What's with these names you and the boy are spurting out now? Kasame asked in irritation. Itachi enlightened him, they're alien species. Aliens? Kasame asked, you don't honestly expect me to believe that, do you? Diamond Head answered, believe what you want, because it's the truth. He shot diamond shards at him. Kasame used Samehada to deflect the shards, while Itachi was jumping around avoiding Hinata's mana blasts. Suddenly the two shinobi were back to back, as Kasame spoke, Itachi, we need to grab the brat, and get out of here. I know. Itachi responded, until the two started hand signs. Itachi used a fire jutsu on Hinata who used her mana shield to protect herself, while Kasame used a water jutsu to wash Diamond Head away into a stream. Suddenly the Omnitrix timed out and Naruto sat in the stream, and saw Itachi approaching him, while Kasame was keeping Hinata entertained. Itachi spoke, it looks like you're out of juice, Naruto. But I still have plenty. He revealed his Sharingan eyes, and was about to attack only for a shout to be heard. Itachi. They all looked over and saw Sasuke with his Sharingan eyes activated. You leave him alone. You fights with me now. Well, Sasuke. I wasn't expecting to run into you, little brother. Itachi answered. Brother? Hinata asked. Naruto looked back and forth between the two, and thought, so he's the one that murdered their whole clan. Sasuke spoke up, I'm gonna ask you once again to step away from Naruto, Itachi. Because if you don't I will kill you like I should have that night. Itachi looked amused, yes you should have. But you didn't. He scowled. Sasuke frowned, as he started his Chidori, that's because I was weak and helpless, but I'm different now. He charged at Itachi and was prepared to attack with his jutsu, only for Itachi to grab his arm out of thin air, much to the three Genin's shock. Sorry, Sasuke, but I need you to take a nap right now. Mingekyo Sharingan. His Sharingan shifted, as Sasuke knew what was coming next, Tsukuyomi. Sasuke started screaming, until he blacked out. Sasuke. Naruto called, as Itachi tossed Sasuke into the stream with Naruto. Now then, where were we? Itachi asked Naruto. You were about to get away from him. A voice called, as Azmuth dropped in wearing his Mechamorph armor with Jiraiya. Iro-sanin. Azmuth. Naruto gasped in relief. Kasame gasped, Jiraiya-sama. Itachi looked at the Mechamorph armor, and squinted, Azmuth. Hello Itachi. Azmuth greeted him. You know that thing, Itachi? Kasame asked. Yes. And it's best we leave at once. What? Kasame asked in outrage. After all the trouble we've been through just to find the brat, and now you want to run away. We've been compromised now that Jiraiya-sama is here. Itachi explained, while Kasame only grumbled. Jiraiya and Azmuth went into attack, only for Kasame to use another water jutsu to shield them, and when the wall of water fell, the two shinobi were gone. They got away. Hinata sighed. That was freaky. Naruto admitted, as he got out of the water with the unconscious Uchiha. What happened to him? Jiraiya asked Naruto. Itachi used some kind of jutsu called Tsukuyomi on him. He answered. Azmuth powered down his armor, and spoke, we didn't make it in time. What kept you two? Naruto crossed his arms. Azmuth answered, Jiraiya saw this woman walk by, and he melted like a puddle. I did not. Jiraiya protested. Itachi placed a genjutsu on her to try and keep me away. When I heard something happened where you went off to, I knew there was trouble. Hinata added. What do we do about Sasuke? Naruto asked the two. Leave that to me. Azmuth held up his little hammers and clicked on a watch of his own, and suddenly Sasuke vanished into thin air. Where'd Sasuke go? Hinata asked in confusion. It's okay. I had him teleported to Konoha's hospital. I'll be sure to send a message to Hiruzen of what happened. The Galvan explained. Naruto asked his sensei, Iro-sanin. Who were those two, and what did they want? Jiraiya answered. They're S-class Nukenin who are part of an organization known as Akatsuki. Akatsuki? Hinata asked. That's right. They're a group that are after. Jiraiya paused, not sure if he should. After the Omnitrix. Hinata guessed. If only. Azmuth answered. Naruto realizing what else he had they could want answered. They want Kurama. Huh? It's okay. I told Hinata and Tenten about it during our practice this morning. And they don't see me the same way as the villagers do. Jiraiya sighed in relief to have heard they took the news better than some did, and continued, in that case, yes it's true. I don't know too much about it, but the Akatsuki are out looking for the tailed beasts. So who were those two individually? Hinata asked. We know Itachi is Sasuke's older brother. Naruto began. He murdered their whole clan. That's what was all the talk going around during our days at the academy. Jiraiya nodded. That's right. Itachi was also one of the best shinobi in our village since Kakashi. Azmuth sighed. Itachi was more than just a shinobi. He was in fact also once a plumber. Naruto did a double take. Itachi a plumber. That's right. Also one of the best recruits. Although his father insisted he focus more on the shinobi life rather than being part of the plumbers, Azmuth stated, and thought to himself, if only I could tell Naruto the truth, but I am sworn to secrecy. I see. Naruto replied. And who was the other one? Hinata inquired. Jiraiya answered, Kasame Hashigaki, better known as the Scourge of Kiri. He was once part of a group known as the Seven Swordsmen, that disbanded years ago. 7 swordsmen, like Zabuza. Naruto thought. They both were very lucky to have even held out this long against those two, Azmuth began. If we didn't get here when we did, not even your powers would have been enough to keep you safe. And you Hinata are lucky Kasame hadn't used Samehada to try and absorb your mana. It can do that. Hinata gasped, having not known about it. Yes, his sword can devour chakra and even mana. At least not too much mana, but he took enough you would be drained out. Azmuth warned her, as she looked worried. So is this another reason you wanted to help me get stronger, Iro-sanin, to prepare me for when I would have to face shinobi like that? Naruto asked. Exactly. Naruto sighed. Well, then I'll have to just keep getting stronger both with my ninja abilities and my aliens. And I'll have to keep practicing with my mana. Hinata added. Jiraiya and Azmuth smiled, seeing they were more determined than before. Jiraiya spoke, let's keep going. And so the four continued on. Meanwhile up in Valmark's ship, Orochimaru and Kabuto were at meeting with the young Chimera Sui Generous. As Orochimaru spoke, I must admit, Valmark, when you first beamed me up here, I was feeling as if I'd have another enemy on my hand. You wouldn't want me as an enemy, Orochimaru. Valmark answered, well the Sannin squinted, taking it as a threat, but brushed it off as an empty one. And your proposition to help each other has me intrigued. The Sannin added. Yes. You desire the Uchiha boy for his Sharingan, and I desire the Omnitrix from the boy Naruto. Valmark added. Orochimaru continued, with our talents combined we can help each other in gaining what we want. Correct. And I have big plans that can be beneficial to you. Valmark put in. Kabuto spoke up, if I may voice my opinion, what sort of plans do you have in mind? Let's just say I have a way to improve the fighting prowess of your Sound 5. Orochimaru looked more intrigued, tell me more. Thalmark smirked seeing Orochimaru's look of interest. As Jiraiya, Azmuth, Naruto, and Hinata were on the search for Jiraiya's teammate Tsunade, they decided to make camp outside of town. As Jiraiya took Azmuth into town to find some leads on Tsunade's whereabouts, Naruto and Hinata were left to train. As Hinata was practicing with mana, she watched as Naruto was trying to mold chakra into his palm. She watched in amaze as the chakra took the form of a sphere, but it blew up in Naruto's face, causing him to fall to the ground. "Naruto," she gasped, as she went over to help him up, "are you okay?" "I'm fine, thanks," he replied, before looking at his burned palm. "This jutsu learning is even tougher than Iro-sanin let on." "That's what jutsu is he teaching you again?" the Hyuga asked. "It's called Rasengan. A jutsu Dad developed all on his own many years ago. It's when one takes chakra and shapes it spherically in their hand. And its force is quite powerful." "Amazing," Hinata gasped. "Yeah, but learning it was no treat. Dad and Iro-sanin had to practice for years before they could master it." Naruto replied. "I see. I just hope I'm able to pull it off." Naruto sighed. "Naruto, I believe you can do it." Hinata comforted him. "You do?" Naruto looked at her. "I do. If you can handle something like the Omnitrix, then I know you're more than capable of learning a single jutsu." She supported him. Naruto was surprised, until a smile curled his face. "Thanks, Hinata." "Naruto," Hinata said, as the two gazed at each other and began moving closer until a voice called out, "Hey, you two." The two jumped back, before seeing Jiraiya approaching with Azmuth. "Rosanin, Azmuth, what's up?" Naruto asked while secretly cursing them in his thoughts. "Any luck?" Hinata asked. Azmuth answered, "We're not that far off. Tsunade was here about 2 days ago." "Well, we're still on the trail," Naruto said in relief. "Right. Tomorrow we'll be going to Tanzaku. But for now, let's go back to the inn," Jiraiya suggested. "Right." The two shinobi agreed, as they went back to town for some much-needed sleep. The next morning, the four were once again on the search until they arrived at the next town, being Tanzaku. Hinata spoke up. "Jiraiya-sama, are you sure Tsunade-sama is still here?" "I'm positive. This town is Tsunade's ideal place." "He's sure. How do you figure?" Naruto asked. Azmuth answered, "This town is a gambler's paradise, and if there's one thing we both know about Tsunade, it's her love for gambling. Not that she's ever won a jackpot in her life." Jiraiya laughed. "So will we have to turn up every casino in town?" Naruto asked. "Not quite," Azmuth answered. "You can help us, Naruto." "I can?" Jiraiya nodded, as he pulled out a Konoha headband. This was once Tsunade's forehead protector. It may be old, but it still carries her scent on it. "Why do you have that?" Hinata asked in confusion. Jiraiya blushed. "No reason." Azmuth sighed. "We'll need you to turn into Wildmit and smell her out." "Can you do it?" Naruto smirked. "Wildmit coming up." He activated the Omnitrix and became Wildmit. Jiraiya held it out to the alien dog. "All right, Naruto, get the scent." Wildmit sniffed it before he stood ready. "Sicker," he ordered, and Wildmit started sniffing all over the ground until his head shot up and let out a howl before taking off. "He's got a trail." Hinata gasped. "Let's go," Azmuth ordered, as they followed him. Wildmit continued to sniff around the town, while running past many civilians and tourists who were terrified of the creature, but he paid no mind. Meanwhile, around one corner of the town, two ladies were walking around. One was a blonde lady with breasts so big they looked like they could bust out of her top, and accompanying her was a young dark-haired woman carrying a pig. The blonde woman spoke. "Come on, Shizune, let's hit up another casino. This time I'm feeling lucky." She pumped a fist. The woman known as Shizune sighed and muttered, "That's what you said the last 3 times. Monster," a voice cried, as the two women stopped and saw an orange dog beast skid around the corner into their sight. The two ladies jumped back in shock, and the pig squealed in fright. Shizune gasped. "Tsunade-sama, isn't that a?" The woman identified as Tsunade fixated her eyes on the creature, a Vulpamancer. Wildmit continued to sniff around until he started coming right at Tsunade and Shizune. The two ladies prepared themselves until the alien skidded before them. They heard a beeping sound coming from his collar. In a green flash, they saw the Vulpamancer was gone, and in place of it was a blonde boy. "It's just a kid," Tsunade said in disbelief. "But how?" Shizune was confused. Naruto got up and looked at the two women before speaking to Tsunade. "So you're Tsunade. And who are you?" Tsunade asked curiously. "The guy who came a long way to find you," Naruto answered. "Is that right?" Tsunade crossed her arms. "It's all true," a familiar voice spoke up. Tsunade and Shizune looked ahead, and saw Jiraiya approach with Hinata at his side. "Hello, Tsunade." "Jiraiya, what are you doing here?" Tsunade asked in confusion. "Looking for you, that's why," he replied. Hinata looked at Tsunade and was amazed by her beauty. "She's gorgeous." Tsunade spoke. "Well, sorry to disappoint you, Jiraiya, but I'm not in the mood for a reunion." "Then I suggest you get in the mood," a voice spoke up. Tsunade and Shizune looked around, before spotting Azmuth standing on top of a crate outside a shop. "Azmuth," Tsunade gasped. "Mr. Azmuth." Shizune gasped in equal shock. "Tsunade and Shizune, you two are looking well. Especially you, Tsunade." The Galvan greeted them. Tsunade looked at Jiraiya. What's this all about, Jiraiya? We have to talk, Tsunade, and I mean we have to talk. Jiraiya insisted. Tsunade sighed, knowing there was no way to get rid of him. Alright. So the group went to an outdoor tavern, where Jiraiya and Tsunade were having saucers of sake. Jiraiya spoke, I see you've still managed to keep up appearances. Wish I could say the same for you, Tsunade replied, bruising Jiraiya's pride. She then noticed Naruto and Hinata staring at her. So who are these two you brought with? Jiraiya smirked, meet Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga. Tsunade was taken aback by their identities. So you brought Minato and Kushina's only child and the heiress to the Hyuga clan. That's right. Tsunade looked to Azmuth, then maybe you can answer me this. Why is it you was Vulpamancer a moment ago? Come on, Tsunade, even you should know what is that power. Azmuth replied. Tsunade finally getting it spoke to Naruto. Show me your wrist. Naruto held up his right one. Your other wrist. Naruto held up his left one, showing them the Omnitrix. Azmuth, you gave this boy the Omnitrix. And that surprises you how? Azmuth asked rhetorically. Tsunade knew she stood no chance in arguing with Azmuth, and said nothing. So what's this all about, Jiraiya? I'll tell you. About a few days ago Konoha was under attack by Orochimaru. The two ladies were surprised. Orochimaru? Shizune asked. That's right. It was during the Chunin exam finals. He posed as soon as Kazekage to turn its shinobi against our village. And to top it off they were aided by this alien warlord named Valmark. They almost destroyed the village, if it weren't for us and Azmuth's people. I see. She replied. Though Tsunade would not admit it, she still had feelings for the village her grandfather founded. Jiraiya continued, the real reason we're here is because Sensei sent us out to find you so you can take up the mantle of Hokage. Tsunade turned to him, no thanks. Naruto and Hinata were confused, until Azmuth spoke up, Tsunade, I implore you to see reason to change your mind. Hiruzen has chosen you to carry on the mantle of not only him but your grandfather as well. Tsunade replied, last man, Sensei left to carry on the mantle didn't reign long. Naruto frowned, hey, you watch your mouth. That's my dad you're talking about. I know. But I don't care. She replied. Alright, what will it take to make you come back to the village? Naruto inquired. Tsunade raised a brow, well, if you're interested there is something we could do. Swan-sama, please don't. Shizune pleaded. If you can beat me in arm wrestling, I may consider coming back. Arm wrestling, huh? You're on. Naruto, you don't stand a chance against Tsunade even in arm wrestling. Azmuth scolded him. Tsunade smirked, then I'll allow him a handicap. Turn into one of your aliens strong enough to make it a fair fight. Naruto smirked, alright then, he activated the Omnitrix and became 4 arms. What do you think of this? The Tetrament. Wise choice. She smirked. Jiraiya rolled his eyes knowing things weren't going to go so well for Naruto. So they set up a stand on an empty crate for both Tsunade and 4 arms to do their game. The two sat down as Tsunade put her elbow on the crate, as 4 arms placed his upper right elbows on the crate, while using his lower set of limbs to grip the seat he was using. The two locked fists, as Azmuth announced. Begin. And so the arm wrestling began, with both Tsunade and 4 arms trying to overpower each other. Hinata and Shizune watched in worry for both of them, while Jiraiya and Azmuth stood watching impassively. 4 arms glared at Tsunade, while trying to pin her arm. Wow, you're stronger than I've been told. He said. Tsunade smirked, this is nothing. I once did an arm wrestle with Urikage. How'd that work? Unfortunately, I lost. But that's because he caught me off guard. Against you however, she started overpowering him. I'll have no problem in beating. 4 arms thought as he struggled, unbelievable. This is one of my strongest aliens, and she's overpowering me. I can't give up. I just can't. He started trying to overpower Tsunade's strength which took her and the others by surprise. The group watched fearing it could be a close one. Finally as both competitors used their full strength, Tsunade pinned 4 arms, and with her strength sent him off his seat and onto the ground, leaving an imprint. Naruto. Hinata cried, as she went up to 4 arms who transformed back. What hurts? Everything but my earlobes. He replied with a groan. Azmuth spoke to Tsunade, I see you haven't lost your touch even after all these years. Tsunade scoffed, whatever. Since I won, I won't be coming back. Jiraiya spoke, you didn't win so easily, Tsunade. We all saw how much you had to struggle at the end to ensure you'd win. It's the end result that counts, Jiraiya. She retorted. Regardless, Naruto almost had you beat even if he was as a Tetrament. Say whatever you want. I'm still not coming back. Shizune, let's go. She got up and started walking away with Shizune who was worried. Naruto got up and called out, this isn't the end of this, old lady. We're not going anywhere until you agree to come back. He groaned as Hinata held him up. What do we do now? Hinata asked Jiraiya. Let's get Naruto someplace to rest up. He suggested. Hinata agreed, as she helped Naruto along with Jiraiya, while Azmuth stayed behind and watched Tsunade and Shizune leave. Later that night, Tsunade was sitting atop a torii gate looking up at the night sky. She was interrupted by a voice, nice night, isn't it? Tsunade looked at the side and saw Azmuth sitting atop of the torii as well. What do you want now? I just came by to talk. I'm not really in the talkative mood right now. she answered. If you won't talk then at least listen, Azmuth said. Well, Tsunade sighed, deciding to do that much out of respect for the Galvan. I could see it in your eyes, that moment. We all did. He reminds you of them, doesn't he? He asked, while Tsunade continued to remain silent. You know Naruto also wants to be Hokage as well. It's his dream. Tsunade flinched. Dreams can just as easily die as people can. Tsunade replied. Azmuth crossed his arms. I know you don't really mean that. Dreams have a habit of being carried on by others. Like the will of fire is passed on one generation after another in Konoha, dreams of others can be carried on by one of a new generation. Thus as my Omnitrix is carried on by another who carries the same will and determination as the last wielder. Tsunade glanced over at Azmuth curiously, as he stood up. Heed my words, Tsunade. Your brother and lover may be gone, but their dreams do live on. He summoned his hover pad and left the woman to ponder. Tsunade looked down at the green crystal necklace around her neck and said to herself, Milwaukee. Dan. Meanwhile up in Valmark's ship, the warlord was talking with Orochimaru and Kabuto, until a drone entered. My lord. The boy has been found. Valmark asked, where is he? He appears to be in the town of Tanzaku in the land of fire. The drone answered. Tanzaku, huh? Valmark pondered. Then he's not alone. He has the old one known as Jiraiya, and the Anodite girl. The drone continued. I see. Orochimaru pondered, until he came to a realization. Valmark, I know exactly why they're in Tanzaku. Really? And why are they? Because an old comrade is there. And I can only assume they're looking to bring her home. He explained. Kabuto asked, Orochimaru-sama, are you referring to her? Orochimaru smirked. Why, yes Kabuto. And I think she could be very useful to us if we get her to join us. Valmark was looking annoyed. What are you raving about? Orochimaru turned to him. Valmark, remember the story I told you about my old team? Valmark nodded before answering. Wait a minute, are you saying your other teammate is there? It's a good chance. And if we get her on our side, then we'll have two of the best medical shinobi in our ranks. I see. Very well then. Tomorrow we'll seek her out and give her an invitation. Kabuto spoke, but what if she refuses to cooperate with us? Don't worry, Kabuto. I am very persuasive after all. He snickered. Thanks for listening. I do hope you enjoyed. If you want the next part of this video, like, subscribe and comment down below, and turn on the bell notification. And also check out other videos that I have created and enjoy. See you in the next video. Peace.